Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork, down to Noodles for another breakdown of the Ancient Magus Bride, episode 7. Yes, I sound hopefully better. I am recovering. It's been a very long illness. I am going to be foregoing the question for this episode just because I'm in a bit of a weird place with the noodle bowl right now, just not feeling overly comfortable with a few things. An episode where I just focus on my reviews. There is also the midway review in case you have missed it. That video has gone up every single week now. We're having 4 video releases go up. Lots of content for you guys, so I hope you guys are finding at least something that tickles your interest. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot. Sometimes we go through difficult periods. I think I am going through a bit of a difficult moment with the channel where someone's upset me and I'm just like, oh, okay, fine. I'm just going to take a bit of time away from things and just focus on some of the other shows right now. I accidentally almost sent myself to hospital yesterday. It was not fun. It's been a bit of an eventful night. 2 halves of today's episode. First half, let's go back to the college for a second. And a few things that were interesting to me is just the idea of how in control Philomela really is. We were debating whether it was the curse mainly amplifying how she feels. I'm not quite sure because it does seem that a lot have her desire to see her parents, or she's not even sure why she wants to see them, but she knows that it might make her feel better. That seems to be the idea that is driving her. Obviously, we know she's also been tasked to get the book for Grandma. I am calling Grandma also bullcrapping and not actually bringing her parents back because I don't think you can. I don't think we've seen people come back from the dead, and it's been not proven that anyone can. I would be shocked if that's what she's doing. Now I'm saying that, sometimes this happens, I'll talk to you guys and I'll hear it out and then I'll get an idea. Maybe she is because she wants Adam back. Maybe she's just going to bring back Adam because she did say, I want you back at some point. I did have loads of theories at one point that he wasn't dead. I don't know. I don't know if he's dead. Maybe he is. There's a lot of things that we still don't have for the full answers to. There's a lot of little hints that she might be a bit more aware than I initially thought, because she does mention potpourri in the threat where she starts to threaten the kids' lives a bit more. Potpourri is obviously the thing that Chisei gave her. Talk about the principal just for a little bit. Now, I'm going to get angry. I'm sorry. I'm going to be angry with the principal just for a little bit because she initially says that her priority is to prioritize the students and their healths and their lives and their safety. She decided to cut them all off, which is going to put their mental health at stress. Had them locked up for ages with not really having a plan. Then when she comes face to face with Philomela, the actual cause, she just lets her go. And I understand that she lets her go because she's basically threatened the lives of the kids. It doesn't feel like she actually had any plan for how long they were locked up for. They were locked up for quite some time. She didn't come up with a plan. She didn't decide that actually this is a bad idea. Maybe we shouldn't be locking up this dangerous person with the kids. I'm angry at her. I'm also really angry at the way that she called Chisei out. I don't like that. I just didn't think that was a nice moment. At one point, I was just going to pin her as being a bit not thinking things through. That's fine, but this week's episode just made me really angry at the character. It really irritated me. I got really frustrated as well because a lot of times all the way through this season, we've seen Chisei getting slammed over and over again for having a desire to do something dangerous, but at the same time, having a desire to want to help somebody. Chisei can. I know she's been in a bit of a situation. She acts before she thinks, and I love the fact that it's Elias who actually congratulates her for staying put for a little bit. Well done for actually staying put, taking that. Didn't feel very nice of her to say that. The fact that she also lumped her arm situation, her cursing as well, I didn't like it. It was just a very uncomfortable sequence, but the episode for me got really good after this point anyway, so let's start talking about the good stuff because we're here for the good stuff. We're here to see all of the good stuff that the anime is actually bringing to the table. Now, the Elias sequence was the bit where it started to turn for me. I really have a lot of good things to now say about the episode. I love the composition of him looking down upon her because it doesn't feel threatening, but it does feel very like I'm protecting you, but I'm looking at you to tell you we're not the same thing. And it's very easy up until this point to go, oh yeah, it's the same, she's just a student, blah blah blah, but actually no, you're a mage. You're not a sorcerer. These guys are learning to be sorcerers. You're something that can't even dream of being because they are envious of the powers that you have. Up until this point, I've completely forgotten. And I absolutely love this moment in general. The music starts to change. There's a lot of really nice sound moments around on the audio this week as well. I also thought it was a breath of fresh air to finally leave the college. And you guys know that maybe I have been a bit cagey. Maybe this is the effect. And I've also mentioned the fact as well that keeping us in the college is probably part of their intended plan to make you feel claustrophobic as long with the students, because it carries this idea that we can't go nowhere. We've been stuck in the same place for quite a few episodes now. It was nice because it mimicked how Philomela was probably feeling, because I get the idea that she was hoping that the curse book and the user would by that point break, and that's exactly what does happen. She does eventually just snap. She wants out and she's had enough of waiting. I get that idea, but it just felt like the idea was just not thought through. And once you actually had that person, you must have known that person was dangerous and was going to show themselves at some point, and that's, you didn't take any precautions. There was like no precautions, and the golems ended up being useless. You've shown lots of golems trolling but not actually having any purpose. But there's lots of good things, so let's continue talking about positive things like Zach. Zach was awesome. I actually wasn't prepared for him to turn around and be the unexpected help that we weren't actually expecting, because up until this point he's been a bit of a chaos force, and I love the fact that low-key he is still trying to instill this chaos, but he's trying to influence these guys to rebel. But you need to be able to protect yourself, which is great. It also rolls into what he's been doing in his lessons. He's been trying to teach them in a bit more of a rough-handed manner that you need to act fast. Instead of trusting magic, you need to be able to protect yourself, fist fighting, protect yourself with a weapon. And I love the fact that it's this point where he's actually like, you can come along with us. He said he's not going to look after your lives or protect you. You need to make sure that this is an extension of my lesson. You need to be protecting yourself. I love that. I really thought that was a very clever for the character, because it brings everything that we've learned with this character summarized up, and this is what you've been trained for. This is us now using this properly. So it gives me higher hopes that the guys that are going along with Chisei are probably going to stand a little bit of a better chance. Chisei the Red Dragon was a very unexpected moment. She also doesn't quite look like a dragon in the typical sense. She looks a little bit like the Scottish Loch Ness Monster. She's got flippers. That also makes sense, but also not. So Chisei obviously was not originally from the UK, but it's nice to see that she's taken on a bit more of a UK dragon style. Philomela walking down the hallway, seeing things breaking off her because she starts to fall apart. I love that literal symbology of her just falling apart and collapsing in front of her grandmother, trying to get that recognition, still hoping that she's going to turn around and be like, you done well, and she's still not getting it. And it makes you realise how much of a sucky person the grandma is. The grandma sucks. Maybe I'm just angry at old women at the moment. The grandmother has sucked up until this point. I don't think she's going to be fulfilling Philomela's wish. She's going to be fulfilling one of her selfish wishes, which might bring Adam back at the same time. But I can imagine if she brings Adam back, it's probably going to be as like a zombie or something. And it's not going to be as Philomela's expecting. But the symbology is really, really nice. I also love the inside of Elias being represented by these fawns. Thick forest that you can't even see out of. No light is piercing in. Really enjoy that visualization. This symbology of fawns has been going on throughout the OP, throughout the ED. Every season, Chisei starts to take that on as her representation, but with the amulets. I do think mages are just way cooler than sorcerers, and it's so good to finally get our people moving again. I love seeing Chisei actually in action. I am worried about the arm. I know that she's turned into a dragon. I'm going to have a bearing on your curse. Is it going to get the curse moving? Because we know that it's one day going to consume you, just like it is with Philomela, but perhaps not as quickly. The moment where we are talking about these veins of power, all it reminds me of in UK terminology is ley lines. Depending on where you are specifically, if you're in Shropshire, you're definitely going to hear this one. Power veins all over the world, basically. And especially in the UK, around Stonehenge, the Rollright Stones, haunted places. The idea is that sometimes they cross. And at these points of crossing, you get things like special places like Stonehenge. The belief is that magic is channeled through these power points. Sometimes it's water as well, underground water, that a lot of people put it down to. And it's where they cross is where you get things like spooky things starting to happen. That is something that I thought was very fascinating from English folklore. Bringing it up here because I do think that's what they're referencing. I think they're saying that she's travelling, sensing this emotion of Philomela being able to track her down, via the use of ley lines, which I think as well they have said that Elias's cottage is based upon the crossing of a ley line. I love the fact that this stuff's starting to come up. I really do miss talking about this stuff with you guys, being able to actually express what I think things are, or if I've heard it as well, because this is an anime based in the UK. There's a lot of things I want to bring to the table, but we've been trapped in the college for such a long time. I guess I've forgotten how to do my actual reviews. I don't remember who the Raven Lady is. As someone can probably let me know in the comments, it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's not quite there. I initially thought it was Titania, but that's not Titania. She's not a Raven. But I'd want to know what Chisei traded, because she said, are you ready to make a trade? I'm like, oh, what did you trade? Because she attacked that guy spying on Chisei in the house. So something was traded for her to perhaps do that and borrow her powers. Very cool visualizations. Crows especially. I love the foot coming out and grabbing him. really, really nice. He's probably lost the use of his vision. It's a very nasty trade-off, but you've got to bear in mind what we were told with the curse idea and Threefold, that Philomena's getting it all back. All the bad stuff she's getting back is coming back as karma. Does make you wonder what she's traded, and is Chisei going to feel any karma for those actions? We do see Adam at the last chunk of the episode, and I know I keep flip-flopping, bringing up my werewolf theory, and it's gone again. I'm sorry, the werewolf theory's gone, because Adam doesn't look like the werewolf. He also doesn't look like the guy I thought he was. I'm going to let this one rest, I promise. I'm not going to bring up werewolves, Philomela, and her perhaps being one at some point. I promise it's gone. And if it does turn out to be true, I will let it go. I do think he might have had a secret, because we do get a look at both parents this week, but I don't think he's a werewolf. As much as I want him to be a werewolf, I don't think he is. I will let it go, guys. I'm so sorry. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are doing well. I love my noodle bowl. I do love my noodle bowl, but every so often something will just upset me. Just need to take a little bit of a break from, I guess, too many comments. We've had a lot of comments, which I really, really love, but sometimes a negative comment does get to me. One in particular did get to me, and I just need a break, I think. Because I don't want to upset you guys either. I just want the noodle bowl to be a place where everybody feels comfortable. But that also has to be with me. I need to feel comfortable within my own noodle bowl too. The videos are still going to come out, but it might just be me not exerting as much effort into trying to get chatting going, maybe. I don't know, guys. Bear with me as I work it out. Thank you guys so much. Look after yourselves. Bye-bye.